Hello, this is Unsaint21 giving you another League of Legends footage. Not a footage, actually, this is a video. Just an ordinary video talking about the latest patch, which is the 5.1 patch for this coming Season 5. Now, this is the official Season 5 5.1 patch, because of the word 5. We'll be talking about the different champion updates, nerfs, buffs, and how it will affect the different champions, as well as talking about the new item changes, gameplay changes, as well as the difference in the map as well. So, without further ado, we'll start talking about the champions first because they are a lot easier to talk about. So let's start with Alistar. Because letter A. Alistar will get a visual model update, textures, and visual effects for all the skins, new ability icons, as well as new base splash icon that will be showing right now on your screen. Ari will also get a base splash, a new base splash. She is really pretty. Azir has a known bug and has been fixed. Corki will get a slight nerf. Basically, Valkyrie right now will be costing you more to use. Instead of from 50 mana to all levels, it will be 100 mana for all levels. So you have to be very careful when you're using your skills, especially if you're a Corki Lord user. Elise will also get a slight buff. We'll be adding 25 magic damage her to all her Q abilities, which is Neurotoxin and Venomous Bite. Yi will also get a slight gameplay change. Not as much, but a slight passive Shadow Walk basically will, instead of basing it from your maximum mana, the mana regeneration I mean, instead of basing it from your maximum mana as for let's say you're stealthed and you want to regenerate mana, instead of you basing the regeneration from your maximum mana, you'll be the regeneration will be based on the missing mana per second instead of the maximum mana itself. So it's better if you are below 50%, but not good if you're above 50% with the mana pool. So it's up to you how you will deal with it. The next item we'll be having will be Ravage. So Leech Bane, Blade of the Ruined King. Let's see how many items do we have in Pro. There's a few items, but basically we might even see like Triforce. Yeah, we might be able to see a Triforce Eve if we're lucky. So this will make her a bit stronger because it will now apply on hit effects, but unfortunately this low from Rylai will no longer affect as well. Fizz will get a bug fix because of his Urchin Strike has a slight bug when rocking the Shin. So Gnar gets a nerf. Basically, the cooldown refund on the catch of the boomerang will be from 60%, it will be going down to 45%. But you can still get to 60% if you're level 60, if you if you leveled up your R ability, which is the Gnar. Okay, so there you go. Hecarim will be getting a slight help for jungling. Rampage will be costing him less on the start of the game, from 24 mana to 20 level 1, and the Spirit of the Dread has an increased healing cap from 60 to 90, which is good because it's hard to farm with Hecarim. You have to get back to base all the time. Janna's Howling Gale's missile width is decreased by 30 from 150 to 120, and it's not as bad. I mean, her shields is the most important one. Jace gets a nerf. The hypercharge, the nerf is gonna be hitting him for the late game. Before it was the hypercharge damage. This is not without the acceleration gate. This is just with the hypercharge. The attack will be 70% to 110%. Before it was a 70% 230. So you get the idea there. Kalista will have like right. Kalista will get a different um okay. Kalista will have a slight gameplay change. So remember if you look at the passive martial, the passive's ability martial poise. I'm sorry, martial poise. While Callisto can't cancel her basic attack, she can select a different target during the first moments of the basic attack windup. So, whenever time you try to attack someone but you want to change target because the target has a lower HP and you can actually both kill him, the Sentinel passive is there, so if you hit that, you can actually change the target on the windup. But you cannot change target it's going to be a lot trickier to play Kalista. This will only affect the laning phase because the attack speeds is not that big yet. But at late game, it's gonna be if you're godlike, reactions can actually keep up. You can change targets during the wind up phase, and you can actually just keep changing targets here and there, and then try to deal as much as damage. But by the end of the day, at least the players who are now getting their Lunans, Hurricane anyway, so it doesn't matter. But still, this is a good way for them uh, to play Kalista, especially when you haven't gotten the Ronans yet. The Sentinel will get a slight buff as well. Now, when I say this is a buff, because the Soul Mark cooldown per target has been decreased from 8 seconds to 6 seconds. This is good, especially if you're a good support. Is a good support normally hits a target, and then Kalista would easily be able to get a kill that particular target better because of the Sentinel mark. It's a lot better. It's more efficient for killing. However, there is that's why, however, here it's more there's a lot of positives when it comes to the Sentinel buff anyway. It's a very useful ability, especially in the laning phase. So, and then another important thing is the skill is being buffed as well. The soul mark duration, instead of 1.5, it will be 2 seconds. So you'll have time to make sure that you can actually hit that target with a 2-second window. Nautilus will be getting a shield nerf. So basically, the Titan's Wrath will be, the shield strength will be lesser. The base shield is only from 100 will be 65, and wow, it's really weak. Look at that. If you're looking at the screen right now, in window, the base shield strength is that weak. Especially it's from 100 to 65, and the final level is 300 to 85. However, the shield scaling at the late game is very awesome. I don't know if you guys would like it, but if the shield scaling is from 15% through all levels, it will be 7%. But if you get the maximum levels, it will be 17% of the maximum health. So it's okay, but it will definitely hurt Nautilus's early game, especially if you're jungling and you don't really get that amount of health until you get the final items such as Warmog's, Rendarin's Omen, Locket of Iron Solari, the Giant's Belt. So 70% of the maximum health, not only and also if you get the itemization right and the runes right and the masteries, you'll get a ton of health, and that's a lot of shields for that, especially if you're just building Nautilus as super tanky as possible. Touche, but it will definitely hurt Nautilus's early game, so keep out, because I think it's best to keep out of Nautilus for the time being, I guess, but who knows. Nautilus late game will definitely surge forward because of the 17% maximum scaling, maximum health scaling for the shields. That's 2% more. 2%. Let's move forward. We have Rek'Sai. Rek'Sai will be getting tons of nerfs. Queen's Wrath will be, the damage will be lesser for the late game, because yeah, I understand, because I've been playing a lot of Rek'Sai lately, and the late game for the Queen's Wrath is amazing. It's really powerful, especially if you if you know, normally what I do with Rek'Sai is I would get the uh, warriors the warriors upgrade for the Stalker's Blade, and I will also try to get another item to increase my attack speed, which is either if it's yeah, normally would try to get a so that I will be more efficient. I try to get a another brutalizer if we have the advantage. So it's going to be really powerful, but it is only a slight nerf. If you have the proper itemization, basically you have like 75 damage at the late game. You hit the opponent 3 times with those and dealing splash damage. If you have a Hydra, you had definitely deal more splash damage. So in team fights, it's a lot, but it's okay to nerf this. And the attack ratio has been decreased from 0.4 to 0.3. So I think they are trying to make sure that Rek'Sai will be more of a utility champion. It's because I, definitely because if Rek'Sai is more utility, the knock up is already powerful enough anyway. So there you go. The next nerf will be for the AP Rek'Sais in the world. So they will be saying goodbye to AP Rek'Sai. The and from the Praise Seekers ability power ratio has been decreased from 1 to 0.7, so that's all ranks, so it's a lot weaker. The cooldown is already ridiculous for Praise Seeker during the early part, and it's already too weak. And what Riot is trying to say is no more trolls, anyone. So we understand that you want to play AP everything, but this champion is no AP. It's just Praise Seeker just deals ability power damage and so forth. So Transvision, it's just a checking mechanic for Rek'Sai. So that we understand. So the next ability that gets a slight nerf is Unburrow with it's another 0.1 decrease on the bonus attack damage ratio. So that's okay. I mean, Unburrow is already powerful enough. I actually maxed Unburrow first for some reason because it has a good AoE clearing. Whenever I try to clear jungle camps, definitely some people don't understand, but the E is not that good for me. I just don't feel it. Well, Renekton gets a slight gameplay upgrade. It's like instead of let's just talk about it. So, first, the Reign of Anger passive for Renekton gets its DK nerf. Instead, the DK will be from 2 Fury per second. It will be from 4 Fury, 4 Fury per second. So it's the Fury will decay faster, but it doesn't matter anyway because Renekton has a huge potential of getting more Fury, especially when the ultimate is on. Next will be the Call the Meek. Instead of getting let's say percentage heals of the damage dealt to minions or champions, sorry. Instead of that, you will have a certain base amount of heal based on your attack damage and based on the on hit for every minions that is available. So yeah, that's okay. Let's look at the healing from minions. If you hit like 3 minions, you get 9, and if you have a bit of AD, you get more heals. And if you hit a champion, you get 9 instead of 3. Oh, no. If this that's different. So if you hit the champion with this is not the empowered version, you just the regular version. So yeah, if you hit the champion, you get 9, and then that's about it. Before it was if you hit the champion, it was 20% of the damage. But right now they are trying to focus on you can actually heal yourself with minions, not with champion aggression. So that's okay. Um, but sometimes I've seen Renekton games that are being saved because of the clutch call me empowered empowered heals that they get. But so far, that's okay. Let's go moving forward to Ruthless Predator. So the only change is that instead of getting a certain this is a good this is new they say it's new, it's here. But I haven't played a lot of Renekton, so I know how to play the champion, but I don't really know how to play the champion, if you know what I mean. So there's something that is no, something is no, or really no. Someone who's played a lot of Renekton. So generation bonus versus champions. 10 Fury. If you use the Ruthless Predator, that's the stun. Okay, that's the stun, and the dice, the slice and dice, is 2.5 Fury per target, and for the non-champion, and 10 per champion. So if you hit like all 5 with the dice, there you go. You get 50 Fury, and you get an empowered um, assault on a target. So it's good. That's all. It's all good. Did I mention that you can actually hit them all? It doesn't matter how many times you try to hit them. Like if slice and dice hits like twice, all 5 of them, you get 100 Fury automatically. That's good. Alright, so let's move forward. And right now we have Rumble. There's a fix bug for the Electro Harpoon. The harpoon was shorter on Super Galaxy Rumble. I wonder why they still play this champion in CS. Anyway, Marner gets a slight update, a buff. That's what I mean. Slight buff. Crystal Slash is less mana costing for the late game. Well, it doesn't matter because normally it doesn't matter, Crystal Slash. And Fracture is cooldown reduction is lower for 10 seconds. Now, I don't see a lot of Skarner junglers because I, for one, disagree with the mechanic that you need to move forward in order for you to actually get a kill or a crowd control on enemy champion. So let's see. We might be able to see some Skarners out there. Wild Skarner appears on screen. Anyways, let's go moving forward. Sona gets a buff. No, wait. Let's rewind. Sona gets a nerf. The base movement for Sona is from 330 will be 325, and the Hymn of Valor's power core damage amplification will be from 50% going to 40%. So that's about it. Sona is already slow, but they wanted her to become slower. And the power chord's aggression is too much as well, so it's a slight nerf, but that's okay. Sona will still QQ you both at the bottom lane anyway. So Syndra gets a ton of nerf. When I say ton of nerf, let's look at the Dark Sphere. The damage is decreased at the early game. Syndra thrives in the early game because of the Dark Spear, and they nerfed that. So it's from 70 to 50. Now, if you think about that, that's already a lot, and I will not play Syndra. Anyway, so let's go to Scatter the Weak. Now, this is the one what I mentioned, the slight the huge amount of nerf, because it will be more this time. It will be more strict. Now, if you're not a pro Syndra, that's bad. If you're a pro Syndra, that's okay. Nothing. I think this is because they the developers see a ton of stunts from Syndra that actually doesn't hit, but they see it stuns the enemy for some reason. So I like it when they try to fix something that is actually good. But if you can actually dodge a spear, if you can. All right, so let's go moving forward. Sereth gets a fix because the shocking orb, it's not really that good. It's actually getting the stuns is not actually fixed on and the definitions is not fine, but they try to fix it already, so it should be all good now. So next will be, well, there's no more champions that gets any updates. So here we go. Yes, so there is no more champions except they are trying to look for Zed. People are trying to make sure people wanted Zed to be nerfed, but Zed already gets enough nerfs anyway. So guys, if you think a champion is OP or overpowered, try to outplay the champion and understand that there's always ways to counterplay. It always starts with the pick stage, like champion select. That's the time when you start thinking. Alright, so moving forward. Alright, so moving forward, we will be talking about the map itself, Summoner's Rift. I will not be talking about the other map, which is the Howling Abyss, because the only changes for that, I think, is just one item, and it doesn't matter. Anyway, so all that matters for me is the Summoner's Rift map. So with the changes with the Summoner's Rift map, there will be it will be game changing. So third aggro here is one of the changes. So basically flash, if you flash it, if you got, like, let's say, if the attack of the tower tries to hit you, flashing it will no longer, of course, will not help you dodge the attack. That's about it. The map has been updated, so with very low and low texture settings. So if you have like very low and low texture settings, basically you can still have a very beautiful game with the settings that is set in low. Third, base gates. There will be two new additional options to leave the base. That's going to be in between the upper and the middle, or the mid lane and the bit lane and the bottom lane. There's like in between those lanes there will be another gate. Now I don't know how they would use this. You need to check out one of the videos for the PBE games. Next update, I think that's about it. Yeah, that's just about it about Summoner's Rift. And let's talk about jungling. Smite gains a, how do I say, this might be a nerf or a buff. A nerf because the initial cooldown for the Smite itself is 75 seconds now instead of 60. But a buff because you can gain 2 Smites. So the only complication with having this is that you can only get the wind up for the next smite after 140 seconds, 1 minute and 40 seconds on the start of the game, and also you cannot smite the same target for 15 seconds because you will get a smite cooldown. Now with that being said, it's a nice thing, I guess, if you're holding 2 smites. You can actually hold the smite for, let's say you were jungling, smite one of the raptors, and then you can actually, it's a lot easier for you to reward the base. There will be jungle AI for some reason. I don't know how this works. Dragon will now knock away wards. If you place the ward under the dragon, it will be knocked away. Baron Nashner will be nerfed. Attack damage will be decreased from 500 to 240. Let's say if you leave the Baron for too long, basically the attack damage will also increase. So you would have like 400. That's the thing I'm seeing here. The health stats has been decreased as well from 8,800 to 6,400, and the maximum will be from 11,600 to 10,000. Attack changes will be the area effect of the melee attack is 175 now. Basically, it's a lot smaller. Melee basic attack ratio has been decreased. Single attack wear attack ratio is decreased as well. Attack area effect ratio has been definitely decreased, so Baron is a lot weaker. And that's about it. Jungle scaling. This is obvious though. When I say jungle scaling is that if you are trying to kill a minion or a monster, because minions are weak, different than monsters. Monster that is 2 or 3 levels lower than you, you would, what you might say, the cap will give you less experience. That's about it. So make sure that you clear your all your jungles before you can move on forward. There will be a lot of item changes. So there's something that is, here we go. Speedy shopping. Trinkets, unenchanted jungle items, and boot enchantments can now be exchanged. This is nice. Convenience, you see, trinkets can be exchanged with other trinkets of equal level. 100% of the cost. Okay, so basically there will be, this is a bit complicated. Unenchanted jungle items can be exchanged with another unenchanted jungle item for free. But if you enchanted that jungle item, it cannot be exchanged. Basically, you have to sell it. So let's say you buy a stalker's machete, you basically can exchange that to a poacher's machete. But if you upgraded that into, let's say, the warriors or the ravagers, you would end up needing to like sell it, not exchange it. So it's going to be costing you this time. It's kind of like getting a try when you try something in the internet, and then when you want to get the item, once you paid, there's no going back. Both enchantments can now be exchanged as well, so cost is 100% of the cost of the new enchant plus minus the cost of the cost. Okay. Boots cost is not factored in the exchange. This is a buff. So exchange tech hasn't been built out for Rengar's booth, bone tooth, and necklace, and so everything else you can exchange except for the necklace, Rengar's necklace. So poor kitty. Yeah, you're right. So here is before we go on going to the new item, let's talk about the Hunter's Machete. We have an upgrade for the gold per monster kill from 10 to 15. You're a lot easier to It's a lot easier to kill them. Tier 2 and Tier 3 jungle items, instead of 20 gold per minion, you get 30 gold, so better farming. Not to mention you got double smite now. Stalker's Blade, this is a bit like a gameplay changer here. Instead of slowing down the target, you would get the 20% movement speed. Still, I think you would. It works like the Bork, the Blade of the Ruined King, where you slow down the target for 20 and you would increase your movement speed by 20%. I don't know if they explained the mechanics of 20% movement speed steal. So, Guardian Angel is cheaper by 50 gold. Infinity Edge will critical strike less by 5%. But Phantom Dancer has a huge buff as well. it will critical strike by 5% more. So if champions that use Infinity Edge on the early part of the game, you would basically, I mentioned the two both together because they go hand in hand. Now, Infinity Edge, when you buy it as a first item, it's because you get the 2.5 additional critical damage, so it's harder. However, the as time progresses, before it was 30, now it's 25, now it's 20. I don't know, they might be looking for a different champion to use, so champions Caitlyn, like Caitlyn and Tristana, I believe they go and try to get the Infinity Edge as fast as possible. So you might see no the Caitlyn going away. I'm sorry about that. Sorry. See the Caitlyn going away for a bit. And the Fountain Dancer, there will be a lot of Vayne users be happy about this. So especially Doublelift. Morellonomicon has been, there's gonna be an upgrade. No, they say that's not an upgrade. More rather, it's since they think that it's an alternative for the chalice, it's more expensive now by 200 gold. That's about it. No, nothing else. So it's just more expensive by 200 gold. Trinkets, nobody upgrades the trinkets for the greatest stealth totem anyway. So Farsight Orb, it will cost less, but the Oracle's cooldown is a lot bigger now, from 60 to 75. I remember this is a lot shorter before, but now it's just bigger. But that's okay, because champions like Akali cannot thrive when there's like tons of ways for the opposing team to track him during the shroud. So let's move forward now, shall we? Yeah, so it's right, and finally we can actually talk about one of the newest items in the game, which is the Xerox Portal, aka the Void Gate. Now this Void Gate is a very unique item. It's built from a Raptor Cloak plus Megatron Cloak and additional 950 gold. That's a total of 2,800 gold pieces. You gain benefits from this: 50 armor, 50 magic resist, and additional regeneration. Basically another form of Guardian Angel, but not so much as like, let's say if it's like, it gives you the Guardian Angel stats but not the passive. It gives you a unique active and a unique passive instead. The unique passive, Point Runner, enables you to run faster under turrets, enabling you to do some Rico Suave dodges and plays under the towers, enemy or your own tower. It doesn't matter as long as it's under the tower. And you can actually spawn a Void Gate that basically damages minions as well as damages towers. Now this minions, the void spawns, will explode once they hit the structure, and they would last about say here 150 seconds. That's 2.5 minutes, unless they are destroyed by any champions. So normally you would place that somewhere safe. So there you go. That's one of the newest and coolest items that you're going to be using. And that's about it. So that's about it. Thank you so much for watching, and you can actually check the annotations for the previous video I made. If you look at the screen, there will be one. And also I'll be posting up an upcoming video for Summoner's Code as well. So basically had a spring match, and hopefully you guys would enjoy the highlights of the matches as well as the chat we made as well. And I will be posting it with subtitles for just in case that some people doesn't understand my language. It'll be fine. And once again, my name is On Saint 21, and you guys have a wonderful day.